Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved. Oh,
Moved by Vice Chair Burns, seconded by Commissioner Carter. All in favor, say aye.
aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the agenda is approved. Now we have some other business to attend to with the wonderful swearing in of our new county manager, Claudia Odom Hager. And I believe we haven't even gotten to it yet. I'll ask Judge Shamika Reinhardt to please join Manager Hager up at the front for her swearing in. And Judge Reinhardt, make sure you turn the mic on.
Good evening, everyone. We are here on an auspicious occasion, and do you have someone, Ms. Hager, that you would like to hold the Bible while you say the oath?
My son, William.
All right. If you would put your left, y'all can clap. Yeah. All right, and so if you will repeat after me, I state your full name,
I, Claudia Odom Hager,
do solemnly and sincerely swear
do solemnly and sincerely swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance
that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance
to the state of North Carolina
to the state of North Carolina
and to the constitutional powers and authorities
and to the constitutional powers and authorities
which are or may
which are or may
be established for the government
be established for the government
thereof,
thereof,
and that I will endeavor
and that I will endeavor
to support,
to support,
maintain, and defend
maintain, and defend
the Constitution of said state,
the Constitution of said state,
not inconsistent with
not inconsistent with
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the United States,
to the best of my knowledge and ability,
to the best of my knowledge and ability.
so help me God.
So help me God.
I state your full name,
I, Claudia Odom Hager,
do swear
do swear
that I will
that I will
well and truly
well and truly
execute the duties of the office
execute the duties of the office
of county manager
of county manager
according to the best of my skill and ability,
according to the best of my skill and ability,
according to the law,
according to the law.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, County Attorney Hager. Congratulations. I need you to sign here. These two copies and I will sign.
And we're going to give a brief few moments to just realign the room. Manager Hager, while we're realigning the room, would you like to take some family pictures? Yes. Manager Hager, I'll give you the preference if you would like to speak first or the board.
You always let your bosses go first. No, I will let y'all speak first.
Okay. If it's okay, I will start with my remarks. We all held our comments even though we officially signed the contract with Claudia at our last meeting. We all held our remarks for this evening for the official swearing in, because today is truly a remarkable day for Durham County as we officially swear you in, Manager Hager, into your new role, but a role that you're not unfamiliar with as county manager. And this is more than just a swearing in, it's really a celebration of a leader who has dedicated her career to this county and its residents. Claudia, your commitment to Durham has been unparalleled. With over 2 decades of service, you've shown us what true dedication looks like. You're a bridge builder and a peacemaker who is always ready to listen and brings people together to find solutions, even in the most challenging times. And I know I mimic you often and say that I can hear it in your voice, that we will get through this. The Claudia Hager line. Your strength and compassionate leadership has been essential to our progress. And I know I'm not alone when I say that we as a team often lean on your wisdom and trust to have the answers. And what stands out most about you is your unwavering love for Durham County. You don't just see this as a job, it's a calling for you. And your decisions, actions, and long hours are all fueled by your dedication to making Durham the best it can be for each and every one of us here and who isn't here. And you don't just stop at the meeting expectations. You always consistently go above and beyond to support the board, your team, and the entire community. And your strength and resilience are qualities that I deeply admire personally. You have shown an incredible ability to lift up those around you, providing not just direction, but encouragement and a nurturing sense of confidence and purpose for all of us. As a mother, Claudia, you bring this nurturing spirit to every aspect of your work, and you care deeply for your family, especially your son, William, who is a lot taller than I expected, and everyone you work with. You truly have an incredible heart that makes all of us feel like a family here at Durham County. And as a mother myself, I'm so grateful for the nurturing support and encouragement you've provided me personally. With every conversation, phone call we have, it always begins with your genuine love for my children as well, always asking how they're doing, how I'm holding up, and it's that personal kindness and mentorship that makes you not just a leader, but an anchor for all of us. And Manager Hager, on behalf of the entire board, who is going to share their comments as well, and from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Thank you for your service, your guidance, and for leading with strength, love, and resilience, and stepping up to the plate so many times. We're so fortunate to have you as our county manager, and I'm honored to work alongside you as we continue to build a brighter future for Durham. So thank you and congratulations so much on this well-deserved role. And here's to incredible work that we have ahead of us. Now that's Vice Chair Burns.
Okay, my grandma always told me not to read anything off a piece of paper, so I'm gonna apologize to my grandma ahead of time, because Claudia, I didn't want to cry. I see your beautiful family here. I did know William was that tall. Hey, Mom and Dad, how y'all doing? I'm realizing that all of this is not our county staff, this is family. So for anybody who thinks that y'all gonna come in here and try Claudia, that's what y'all got to deal with. That's what y'all got to deal with, and ain't none of them short. So with Claudia Hager's unanimous confirmation as our new county manager, we witnessed the rise of a dedicated, compassionate, and visionary leader, one whose almost 20 years with us has already transformed this community in ways that we both feel and generations will feel to come. Claudia is not just a steward of Durham County's resources, she is the architect of our community's future. Her award-winning financial expertise has been a compass guiding our county through turbulent waters, balancing budgets with precision and purpose, while never losing sight of the people behind the numbers. That's y'all. Her fiscal acumen has won acclaim across the state, yet she wears her success with humility, always challenging channeling her achievements back to the heart of Durham's community, our students, and our families. In Claudia, we see a champion of good stewardship, a leader who respects every taxpayer dollar as if it were her own, and I can attest to that. Her careful and responsible management has been a beacon of trust, ensuring Durham's financial future is bright and sustainable. It is her dedication, her unwavering commitment to each resident in this room that has allowed Durham to flourish, always guided by the principle that prosperity must be shared to be truly powerful. But Claudia is more than her credentials. She is a woman of compassion, driven by faith, that demands good be done and insists that all voices be heard at the table. She embodies the promise that everyone, no matter their background, their circumstances, or their struggle, deserves a chance to thrive in Durham. Claudia doesn't just support our students and families, she uplifts them. She doesn't just value economic development and environmental stewardship. She leads with an understanding that one cannot flourish without the other, and that is really important as Durham continues to grow. Claudia's leadership has meant sacrifice. The people on the front row can tell you that this sister has had to sacrifice for the people in this room. Yet she served without hesitation, giving freely of her time, her energy, and her heart. Her selflessness is woven into the fabric of our county's mission, inspiring her team and every one of us who've had the privilege to witness her work. Claudia's belief in Durham's potential is steadfast, and it shines through every decision she makes, always grounded in her unyielding faith that we are here to serve and elevate one another. I want y'all to join my colleagues and join with the people of Durham in celebrating this well-deserved appointment. Claudia, we are better because of you, and we are grateful for your leadership, your sacrifice, and your unwavering commitment to the greater good. Hopefully we can move forward together knowing that in Claudia Hager, Durham has found a leader, a deep dedication to service, a heart that beats in rhythm with our community, and a vision that will carry us into a future where everyone can thrive. I invite everyone to congratulate her on this momentous occasion, and I'm so thankful that you all joined us for our swearing in. Congratulations, Claudia. Oh, and you don't need to know this. I say this to everybody that we hire, but welcome to the show that never ends.
I'm going to go to Commissioner Carter first. Give Commissioner Jacobs a moment.
Those were beautiful speeches. Thank you, Chair and Vice Chair, and every single word is true. I endorse everything that you said. And so wonderful to have full chambers tonight. We have city leaders, school district leaders, and more would be here if there weren't a big forum where Superintendent Lewis is having a listening session tonight. Family, Claudia's family, and friends. I'm so glad that the chambers are full with warmth and heart for this occasion. And with this appointment tonight, we have an unshakable and loyal stalwart of Durham County government at the helm. We've depended on Claudia so much, as you've heard, in times of stress, and Claudia always helps us manage crisis and never, ever gives way. We have selected Claudia, and you've heard our chair and vice chair talk very specifically about this, but she brings just a tremendous depth of experience and knowledge. Claudia is kind and also no nonsense. She's serious and also very upbeat in her approach, and she has widespread respect, as you can see, from our own staff within Durham County government, but staff in the city and across this whole community. And Claudia is resilient in the face of adversity, and a lot of adversity tends to come the way of local government these days, it seems. Claudia, thank you so much for taking this post. We've relied on you a lot in the past, and I know that going forward, we will be able to count on you in the future and all of your abilities to help this board achieve its goals, to make our community better for all of its residents. I won't be here to work with you in the future anymore, but it has been such a huge honor and privilege to get to work with you, Claudia. I have nothing but respect and admiration for you and affection in my heart. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you to my colleagues for all of your beautiful comments. Really so well said. I first want to thank Claudia's family because, as has been mentioned, we are grateful to you for letting us have Claudia, because we know it has been a huge sacrifice. Anyone who works in Durham County government knows that the first car to be in the parking lot and the last one to leave every night is Claudia Hager's car. And that has been for years. And William, I want to thank you too for sharing your mom with us. Thank you. And also for you keeping her straight as well. In thinking about a lot of the different words that come to mind for Claudia, there are a lot of C words: calm, caring, competent, creative, also kind. Integrity is probably the biggest one that stands out for me, integrity. And as I said before, incredibly hardworking and an amazing mother and daughter. And I'm so glad that your parents are here tonight, Claudia, to see this moment, and your whole family, because I know you are so proud. And the apple does not fall far from the tree as well. There are so many things that Claudia has done that people just don't even know about, that would not really happen in Durham County government. One that comes to mind is the recent bond referendum that we had for over $400 million going to our schools and Durham Tech and other educational sources. That was led by Claudia, going to the bond agencies and to the local government commission and making it possible. Those are the kinds of things that she does. Getting us through COVID on stable financial ground, fiscal and financial standing, which is a huge achievement to go through COVID and a malware attack. And behind both of those efforts, working with IT and also, again, making sure that we made it through financially during that very difficult time, I 100% give Claudia credit for that. And then also for me personally as a commissioner, when I have something that I care really passionately about, like the Carver Creek campus for permanent supportive housing, I worked with Claudia very closely behind the scenes. And as Chair Alam said, every time I would call her, don't worry, it's going to work out. But working her magic with a lot of stakeholders, with city staff, with budget staff, again, to make these things happen for our community. So Durham, we are really lucky. What I want to really say to everyone is we are really lucky at this moment in time that we have somebody who not only is so talented and experienced and knowledgeable, but who is so dedicated to Durham County government and our community, and who loves our staff. And so I am so happy for our staff to have this very seamless transition. And it is really a pleasure, Claudia, because you so deserve this moment. And we are really fortunate and lucky to have you. So thank you and congratulations.
I probably should have gone first. As I shared last week, I was so honored when the commissioners asked me to step into the role of county manager. I have been a part of Durham County Since 1994, indirectly, I was an intern at North Carolina State University, and I met with the county manager at the time, George Williams. I had my fellowship in hand, and you know how it is when you're an intern or you're a grad student. Sometimes they want to deal with you, sometimes they don't. I'm so glad he did. He facilitated me actually working with the city-county planning department. That was my first stint with Durham County. I then came back after working in another sector in 1997 as a budget analyst, and then was promoted to budget director, and left again and came back in 2014 and served in various capacities. And so I love Durham. I always say I got my degrees from Winston-Salem State University and NC State University, and then Hosky High School, but I really learned how to manage and navigate the fiscal complexities of running an organization through my experiences in all of my environments, but especially in Durham County government. And I'm grateful for those managers that I worked for that showed me the way and taught me how to be compassionate and empathetic and a visionary leader. I say all those words and I look at my parents, who are the epitome of that. My father, a pastor, but also a commissioner at one point in his span of life experiences, and a public servant working in different sectors, and my mom also working in the public sector. And they showed me how to be vigilant, diligent, compassionate, hardworking, and excellent in how you do what you do. And I'm just grateful for their example that they gave to me and my brothers who are also here. My son, William, I am grateful to him, who is a resilient young man. I lost my husband, late husband, 6 years ago to cancer, colon cancer, unexpectedly. And as a hardworking parent, it was this community that helped me get through that season, because without a beat, he kept moving. My bonus son, Daniel, as well, supported me along the way. Daniel couldn't be here tonight. He's in Boston and is listening in. So I'm just grateful for family, because anybody who's committed to any kind of situation, you have to have your network. So thank you, family. I thank you, my extended, my other family members. I mentioned my brothers, my aunts, uncles, and friends. Thank you all. And then my Durham family, who runs deep. I've been here again since 1997, and I have so many friends and family, many who are employees here, colleagues across the aisle, the city manager. I thank you so much, Wanda, for your support over the years, and Bertha, and I'll start calling names and then get in trouble. Our president of the Durham Technical Community College, thank you, and as the commissioner shared, the public schools as well. And then our president, our Board of Commissioners-elect, Valentine, who is here tonight, as well as Burton, and Commissioner-elect Lee sent his regards but could not attend because of another commitment. I am just grateful, and I am honored, and I will do my best to serve and be committed to doing good government work, which in my opinion needs to be excellent at all times. And it is the benchmark that my team, my colleagues, the 2,200 employees that are here, we try our best to do great work, and we strive each day to try to get better. And you know, as a nation, we are facing many unknowns right now, from the economy to the recent changes in the political landscape. Yet through it all, I will say what I always say: we will get through this season, working collaboratively with an eye on the future. Again, thank you, Chair Lum, Vice Chair Burns, Commissioners Carter, Jacobs, and Howardson, who could not join us tonight, for this opportunity. Again, I commit to be a servant leader who helps the board make informed decisions, facilitates dialogues to ensure pressing policy issues remain in the forefront, and guides us through tough fiscal choices that are required to keep this county fiscally strong. Thank you again for the opportunities to serve.
I may, colleagues, take another point of personal privilege to call up and give the opportunity, we don't do this regularly, but to give the opportunity, since they're here, to Commissioner Odom and Mrs. Odom, the opportunity if they would like to share any remarks on behalf of their daughter, if you want. I'm putting you on the spot.
And it's former Commissioner Odom.
Commissioner for life.
Okay,
Odom.
all right.
Commissioner Emerita.
It's on the podium there.
All
And
right, now, stay on a script.
William as well, if you would like to share anything about your mom. Wait.
In the words of that great American Gomer Pals, he said, Shazam. We are so grateful tonight as we come to this august body to allow us to have the opportunity to say thank you. And that's all is appropriate today, is to say thank you, because it does take a village to raise a child. Well, this is a government. I was a commissioner 1,000 years ago, and we didn't have the kind of niceties that afforded the commissioners and the government today, but we got the job done. I am so proud of my daughter, Claudia, and she's such a wonderful person in so many dynamic ways, and so we appreciate you so much, daughter, but take time for yourself. Take time for yourself, and you need to do that, because burnout is prevalent in many of the organizations we have today, so thank you, and keep that in mind. My wife of 58 years.
Yes, thank you for the opportunity, and to Claudia, thank you for saying yes, and our prayers are with you, and we know that you will do well because we know who you have your faith and trust in. And to the citizens, thank you for receiving Claudia with open arms, and bless each of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And I'd also be remiss if I didn't note that we've had this occur before, but never officially as sworn in, that we are an all-female board, female county manager, female county attorney, all officially sworn in, female clerk to our board, Monica Wallace. And I know we were a historic board in having all of our commissioners be female. I would assume that we've also made history now with this all-female, all-leadership as well. So a moment to celebrate for the residents of Durham that you guys made this happen, of breaking these glass ceilings and opening up these opportunities for women across Durham. Thank you. I don't want to move on because this is such a fun, happy moment, but I will get us moving forward. While we do the announcements, Manager Hager, if you want to get more pictures with family while the announcements are read, feel free to do so. And then I'll pass it to Clerk Wallace for announcements.
Good evening, commissioners and staff, as well as public. I will read the announcements that are published in tonight's agenda. If you have a great idea for an open space or recreation project in Durham County, this would be the perfect grant opportunity for you. But hurry, the deadline to apply for the Open Space Match Grant Program is Wednesday, November 13th at 5 p.m. Information and application information is available at dconc.gov/matching grants. And you can also contact Brendan Moore, the Open Space Coordinator, if you have additional questions. It's that time of the year. Join the Research Triangle Park in Camden by bringing your used or broken electronics for a meaningful cause at an annual RTP Electronics Recycling Day on Thursday, November 14th from 8:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. located at 300 Park Offices Drive. For a donation form, actually it is required. There is a Google form in the agenda. That is a link that you can click on. And the form also is what will be accepted when you arrive at the event. The Men's Health Council, MHC, of the Durham County Department of Public Health will hold its monthly community walk at Merrick Mort Park, located at 632 North Hoover Road at 9 a.m. on Saturday, November 16th. Each walk features conversations, a local health expert talk, exercise, and fun for all ages. The walk will be followed by a cooking demonstration and tasting by Jasmine Burrows of food that fits you. For additional information, please contact Joyce Page at 919-560-7109. The Durham County Department of Tax Administration will be conducting a Community Outreach 2025 Reappraisal Awareness Session for residents to learn more about the reappraisal process and ask questions. It will be held on Monday, November 18th from 5:30 till 6:45 p.m. at Main Library, located at 300 North Roxborough Street. For more questions about the reappraisal process, you can visit the website dconc.gov/tax or call 919-560-0300. Welcome Baby is kicking off its 12th annual coat drive, which will run from Monday, November 18th, 2024 to Friday, January 10th, 2025. Each year, as the air turns chilly, Welcome Baby collects coats sizes newborn to 8 and share with local families visiting the Giving Closet. They had a record of collection and distribution last year with over 1,000 coats. Donations can be left at Durham County Library locations, Main Library, East, North, South, and Southwest regional locations. You can also drop off at 721 Foster Street at the Welcome Baby office, Monday through Thursday, 8:30 a.m. till 5 p.m., and you can contact Cindy, 919-560-7319. The Durham County Sheriff's Office has a new Star Talk podcast available for listening. In episode 11, Durham County Sheriff's Office Public Relations and Communications Manager David Bowser and Senior Public Administration Specialist Anne Marie Brin talk about the Public Information Office, upcoming fall events, and provide information on an uptick in recent phone scams impacting Durham residents. There is a link to listen and learn more. And lastly, come to the Durham County Department of Public Health Vaccine Clinic at 414 East Main Street to get the latest COVID-19 vaccination. Walk-ins and appointments are available for all people 6 months or older with or without insurance. You can visit the website decopublichealth.org/COVID vaccines or call 919-560-7608. That concludes the announcements in tonight's agenda.
Thank you, Clerk Wallace. Thank you, Clerk Wallace. That brings us, are there any additional announcements from the board? Okay. Hearing none, that'll bring us to our ceremonial items, beginning with the Department of Public Health receiving the Dr. Sarah Taylor Morrow Health Department of the Year Award for the North Carolina Public Health Association. And we have Dr. Director Rod Jenkins here to accept the award on behalf of the county and the Public Health Department. And with this award is given to the local health departments for outstanding programs and efforts. And Durham County's Public Health Office was awarded this honor for its achievements in measuring and improving the health of Durham community through the work of the Partnership for a Healthy Durham, which is celebrating its 20th anniversary this year. So congratulations to the public health team. Thank you for serving and getting us recognized in this way.
Thank you so much. And again, to Chair Lom and fellow members of this great board, to Board of Health Chair Dr. Roger McDougall, and perhaps the greatest Board of Health in all the land. I'm a little bit biased. To Manager Hager, my good friend Claudia. Manager Hager and executive leadership team, we just want to say thank you. It is an honor for me to stand before you, ladies and gentlemen, and also with my staff, as we celebrate being the best public health department in the state of North Carolina. I do remain grateful to the many contributions of all of our staff. This is a labor of love. Of course, everyone in here has been touched by COVID and all kinds of other trials and tribulations, but again, we have stayed the course and we are certainly being recognized for it. I especially want to lift up, as Commissioner Alam has said, the great work of our award-winning Partnership for Healthy Durham as they continue to celebrate 20 strong years. It is certainly a track record of outstanding collaborations and steadfast work in creating not only our award-winning community health needs assessment, but also our community health improvement plans. It has certainly afforded us honor, so cheers to that great work. Finally, to each and every one of you, the citizens of Durham, the people who we work hard for, much can be said about the concept of return on investment. But please know that every cent that this great board invests in public health directly benefits each and every one of you. We work hard for you. So I conclude by expressing my deepest gratitude for this great honor, and for this board's great support, continued support, and make no mistake about it, ladies and gentlemen, Durham leads the way. Madam Chair.
Congratulations again. I have the award to present to you all as well. But is there any comments from the commissioners? Commissioner Jacobs?
I just want to say congratulations to you, Rob, but also to all of your leadership team up here, and that this is so well deserving. When I look at all of you public health leaders, but to all of your staff, I see people who are not just incredibly dedicated, but unbelievably creative and hardworking. And I also want to reflect that back on you, Rod, because I see you really empowering your staff. I see people who have a sense of agency. It's clear that when your staff comes to you and says, hey, I have this idea, you're like, go for it. And that is really important because one of the things that I love about being a county commissioner is, well, three things. One, I love working with talented, amazing Durham County staff and supporting all of you. And I will never forget that conversation at the overdose conference, sitting at lunch with you and your staff and hearing them say, we really want to do this, but we didn't get funded in the budget. And you're just sitting there as their leader, completely supporting your staff and saying, yeah, they have it figured out. They know what they want to do. Let's make this happen. And that I just really want to lift up your leadership and your partnership with your incredibly talented staff. So congratulations. I know this is shared by a lot of people, and I am so proud to have you and to have the best health department in the state of North Carolina. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Jacobs. Much appreciated.
Commissioner Carter?
I just want to echo everything Wendy said. If and you are the best health department in North Carolina, that also means you're some of the best people in the world, because those who go into public health, you just are. You know, you're working at the population health level. You're trying to end all the health disparities and close all gaps that we see. You know, our fundamental challenge is to break the link between race and class and health outcomes, and health outcomes undergird every other outcome. So the work that you do is just stupendously important. And I thank you for that, and I admire you for that, and I am a public health professional wannabe that never will be, but I can just live by being grateful for the work that you all do. And the Partnership for Healthy Durham has won awards throughout the years. You know, maybe 10 or so years ago, it won an award for being a best collaborative of sorts. You know, it's hard to be an effective and functioning collaborative. And there's the Healthy Mile Trails, for example. I don't know whether people walk on those these days. Anyone in this room still walks on those, but those are really cool. And I remember when that was being proposed. And at one point in time, the Partnership for Healthy Durham took on as a health indicator the graduation rate from Durham Public Schools, because people who graduate from school are healthier later in life. So you can just see how cross-sector, many cross-sector goals are achieved by the work that you all do. And thank you for it, and congratulations.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Carter. We'd love to get a picture with you all.
Yes, and I want to present this award to you, but also just add my own congratulations to y'all.
Absolutely.
And saying that, I definitely am not biased at all in saying that it is the best public health board. And I'm so honored to be able to serve as the liaison for the county to the board and just see the leadership and the work that y'all put in at an even more granular level that comes to this body, of seeing the different presentations and the new innovative ways and ideas that staff are bringing towards Durham County to support our residents that often get overlooked. Our residents that don't have health systems that care for them, and Durham County Public Health really stepping in to fill that gap. So I just want to share my personal appreciation and honor that it is to be able to see that work more firsthand. And
Much appreciation, Chair Law.
I might steal this award. It's very pretty.
We do more than take pictures around here, y'all. I just want to make that real clear.
I'm gonna go backwards a little bit and also ask for a motion to approve the minutes for the regular session for October 28th.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, moved by Commissioner Carter, seconded by Vice Chair Burns. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the minutes are approved. We also have to approve an excused absence for Commissioner Howerton. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, moved by Commissioner Jacobs, seconded by Commissioner Carter. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, she is excused unanimously. Bringing us back now to recognize the Durham City County Planning Department for the Marvin Collins Outstanding Planning Award for the Comprehensive Plan. And I see our Planning Department team coming up.
Good evening. I'm Grace Smith. I'm one of the assistant directors with the department. We're really happy to be here with you this evening. If many of you remember that were in this room when we embarked on our comprehensive plan, we started in the fall of 2019 with our engagement efforts. And as you know, right after that, we were hit with a pandemic. So we are excited for this award, but also want to thank you for your support during the process. It was not met without challenge, obviously, when we had to work through the pandemic and regroup and figure out a way to engage and communicate with our residents. It was interesting, but we made it through, and we have an award-winning comp plan, and we're very excited about it. And I have part of the team is here tonight, Scott Whiteman, the manager of the team, and Carl Kolosna, the senior planner, and Lisa Miller, principal planner. And we're just thrilled to be here with you, and wanted to make sure that you got to share this excitement with us.
Is anyone else from the team? No one else? Commissioners? Oh, okay. I just want to share, Yeah, this is the comprehensive plan. Whenever the different steps come to the board, the amount of detail and knowledge that has to go into each piece is absolutely astounding. And I know we have our incoming commissioner, Stephen Valentine, who's also very familiar with the process as a planning commissioner. But the comprehensive plan, it's really what shapes and moves Durham County forward. And it's a moral document also of what we want Durham County to look like, how accessible we want Durham to be, how affordable we want Durham to be. And so we appreciate you guys taking all of the values that we all as Durham County residents share and putting it into such a thoughtful, hefty document of the overall comprehensive plan.
Thank you, and it's really the effort was the team. I'm just here, I was kind of behind the scenes cheering them on, but I really want to emphasize that they did all of the hard work, and we're really proud of them.
Commissioner Jacobs?
Congratulations to all of you, and I know Sarah's not here, the planning director, Sarah Young, but this is again a huge acknowledgement to be celebrated by professionally at the state level by your peers is really significant, and so well deserved. Everybody worked so hard, all of you. Lisa, Scott, Carl, Grace, and many other members of the planning department. And we do have a great plan, thanks to you all. And I just want to say I'm really grateful to all of you. You know, Sarah is somebody people don't realize. She's born and raised in Durham and leading our Durham City County Planning Department. And when I look at each of you, I see people who are so committed to our community. And it's tough. The work that you do is really, really hard. People have very strong feelings about a lot of these issues, and you have to navigate that. And I'm grateful for your expertise that you and your ability to get us to where we need to go in often very difficult circumstances. And doing this during the pandemic and getting through it after, I think it was over 20 years that we had not updated our plan, and then to get this award is really significant. So congratulations to you and everybody else who's been a part of this.
Thank you all so much. We have an award also for you, the plaque.
I just want to state again for the record, we don't take pictures like this all the time. I don't.
That brings us to our next ceremonial item of National Adoption Awareness Month. I will pass to Commissioner Jacobs to read.
Durham Board of County Commissioners Proclamation, National Adoption Awareness Month, 2024. Whereas the County of Durham recognizes the importance of giving permanent, safe, and loving families and supportive children through adoption, and whereas every child deserves the opportunity to grow up in a loving, stable home, and adoption is one way to build a family, and whereas caring adults can make all the difference in the lives of young people, sibling groups, children with special needs, and teenagers, and whereas 201 children in Durham County are in foster care, and of that total number, 15 children are legally able to be adopted and waiting for permanent families. And whereas since November 2023, Durham County has successfully matched families for children waiting to result in a total of 51 finalized adoptions, including 8 sibling groups and 3 older youth. And whereas this effort, along with similar celebrations in all 50 states around the country, will offer children the chance to live with stable and loving families and encourage other dedicated individuals to make a powerful difference in the lives of a child through adoption. Now, therefore, I, Nida Alam, Chair, and on behalf of the Durham Board of County Commissioners, do hereby proclaim the month of November 2024 as National Adoption Awareness Month in Durham County. We commend this observance to our citizens and urge all citizens to join in raising awareness on behalf of the 15 children in Durham County who are waiting for a loving family. We further encourage communities, businesses, schools, faith-based organizations, and families to answer the call and honor the special needs of Durham County's children in hopes of securing permanent family connections, regardless of race, age, gender, healthy, emotional, or behavioral condition, and past distress. This, the 12th day of November, 2024.
Thank you, Commissioner Jacobs. Before Dr. Svechnian, you go, Ms. Wallace, I'll ask you to please put that sign down. It is extremely disrespectful when there's an actual genocide occurring in this world for you to carry a sign like that. Please put that sign away. And if you're not able to put it away, no, I will ask you to put the sign away.
And ask that if they
Okay,
can leave.
if you are not putting the sign away, we'll ask you to kindly leave. If you're not going to leave, will you please put the sign away, or else we'll ask you to leave. You can put it down. If you can put it behind the podium, please. Against the wall. 'Cause then we'll ask you to please leave the meeting. Thank you. Ms. Svechnian.
Hi, thank you, Board Chair and members of the board. First, I have to say this. I am truly thrilled that County Manager Claudia Hager has been appointed. I came to Durham a year and a half ago as a new director of Department of Social Services, and she has been a true support and a friend throughout that process. And so I just want to say congratulations. It's well deserved, and I'm excited to continue to work with you. I also want to say thank you for recognizing Adoption Month. At Durham Department of Social Services, we strive to keep children with families and to support families as a whole. When that cannot happen, every child deserves a safe and loving home. As we approach the holidays, it breaks my heart to think that some children do not have a family at Thanksgiving and Christmas. And so that is what my team works very hard every day to do, is to make sure that if we can keep the family together and reunify, we do, but if we cannot, that a child deserves a home and to be adopted into a loving family. Last week, we had a beautiful gala where the kids were able to celebrate their new families. They dressed up. It was a sneaker ball. I was very much not for it because I don't own sneakers. I only have high heels, but I had to go buy a pair of sneakers because my staff said that I had to do it. But it was wonderful. The children got to dance, and it was just an amazing sight to see, and it was a beautiful experience to see. They were so happy and proud of becoming a forever family. And so next year I'll wear the sneakers again. This time I have them. But I'm going to turn it over to Susan Lee. She is our program manager, and she will talk a little bit about our statistics. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for having us, and thank you again for recognizing November being Adoption Awareness Month. I just wanted to share one particular statistic, which I think is very critical, and I think it shows the work that we are doing at Durham County DSS. Out of those 51 adoptions that we completed from November of 23 to November of 24, we had 22 families that were kinship families that adopted. So it's not just recruited families, it's not just resource families. These are kin, blood family members, fictive kin family, basically maintaining those connections that the child has had and will continue to have. Here at Durham, we definitely strive, like Maggie was saying, in regards to trying to maintain families. If that's not able to happen, to really connect them with their kin so we can keep the family unit together. So I just wanted to share that very important statistic, piece of data from the last year, that a majority of our adoptions that we are doing in Durham are with kin. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Svechnian and your team. I'll bring you back to the board for comment. Commissioner Jacobs.
Yes, I just want to acknowledge all of the staff, and especially Jovetta, Susan, and also Deborah Cousin, and just all of our staff that work in this unit. I was only able to stop by the sneaker ball for a few minutes, and I know that the staff has been working on it for many days, and that morning I had been there since 10 in the morning, and this was about, I don't know, 3:30, 4 o'clock, getting ready for the event. It looked absolutely beautiful. It's really a wonderful time for the families, and especially it's all about the children, for them to just have fun and dance and be happy. And thank you for making that possible and for all that you do. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much again to your team.
Thank you.
That now brings us to the proclamation for Native American Heritage Month. There is a public charge. I'll remind everyone of the public charge of attending this meeting, and we do not have public comment on proclamations and ceremonial items. Okay, now we will move to the proclamation for Native American Heritage Month. That will be started with Vice Chair Burns.
Durham Board of County Commissioners Proclamation, Native American Heritage Month 2024. Whereas Native American Heritage honors and celebrates the important history and heritage of tribal communities across the state who have lived in the geographic area of North Carolina for more than 12,000 years. And whereas today there are more than 130,000 North Carolinians who identify as Native American in North Carolina, according to the 2020 U.S. Census. Whereas Durham County, North Carolina acknowledges its presence on the ancestral lands of the Eno, Tuscarora, Lumbee, Occaneechi, Chiraw, Shakora, Saponi, and Catawba tribes whose rich history and continued contributions have greatly shaped the cultural, historical, and environmental landscape of our community. Whereas the Native American people of the Eno, Tuscarora, Lumbee, Occaneechi, Chiraw, Shakora, Saponi, and Catawba tribes have inhabited this region for a time, maintaining a profound connection with the land, waterways, life force, and environment that sustain our community. And
prior to colonization, Native Americans lived and flourished in what is known as the Americas for time immemorial. And whereas the European colonization of North America led to the suppression, forced assimilation, and genocide of indigenous peoples and their cultures. And whereas Native Americans of this region have experienced historical and present-day injustices and dispossession of their ancestral lands, leading to adverse social, cultural, economic, and health impacts on their communities. And And whereas the North Carolina Commission of Indian Affairs, the North Carolina American Indian Heritage Commission, the North Carolina Museum of History, and North Carolina's Native American Tribes and Urban Indian Organizations collaborate to develop Native American Heritage Month celebrations each year, increasing awareness of Native American history and current issues. And
whereas the Durham County Board of Commissioners is committed to fostering inclusive and equitable policies and practices that respect and celebrate the heritage, culture, and contribution of Native Americans, And whereas the state of North Carolina and the Durham County Board of County Commissioners encourages all residents to learn more about the rich history of Native Americans in our state and commit to preserving Native American heritage and traditions for generations to come. Now therefore, I, Neda Alam, Chair, and on behalf of the Durham Board of County Commissioners, do hereby proclaim the month of November 2024 as Native American Heritage Month in Durham County and call upon all citizens to observe, remember, honor, and respect the histories, experiences, and achievements of Native Americans. This is the 12th day of November 2024.
Thank you, Commissioners, for the proclamation for Native American Heritage Month on behalf of the residents and the employees of Durham County Government and the Office of Equitable Wellbeing. We will be at the Health and Human Services building tomorrow providing information to employees and to residents that are in the building about Native American Heritage Month. We also have information on our website about things that are happening in the local community to recognize Native American Heritage Month, as we have done throughout the year in honor of other communities, diverse communities in Durham. And sometimes we also promote things that are happening outside of Durham in the Raleigh community as well. Again, thank you to our community and to our commissioners for sharing this proclamation.
Thank you, Dr. Lewis, for always bringing these resolutions and proclamations forward to the board to remind us, and I know we've talked about this at our last meeting, but how meaningful we have heard from our Durham County employees also it is to have these proclamations and resolutions to make them feel welcomed by the board and supported in their different cultures and religions and all different aspects of their identity. So thank you so much for making sure that we continue to uplift that within Durham County. Commissioner Jacobs?
Yes, thank you, Brent, to you and your staff for the work that you're doing. And I also wanted to tie the significance of Native American Heritage Month to an item on our agenda tonight on the consent agenda. I know we have some of our staff here for that item, which is around the Hollow Rock Nature Park. And I think that, you know, when I was reading this proclamation earlier today and thinking about how we have a great opportunity with the park to actually celebrate and lift up our local Native American history, which honestly people don't know enough about. And, you know, I just look forward to whatever happens to the Hollow Rock store, hopefully some type of museum that we can make, and also the signage in the park and all of that, that we can really lift up the Native American history there. That's part of what makes that spot so special. So, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Jacobs. Thank you, Dr. Lewis. Okay.
Never. Chair Long. Yeah. This is really quick, I promise. So we usually do, if we do any moments of silence, we do them at the beginning. But the beginning of the agenda was about celebrate Manager Hager, and her family was here, and I wanted to respect that. But I do think that many of you have seen the news, and if you haven't seen the news, you just look down the street in your own community, and we lost 3 more lives last night. The last time we had a big crowd like this was for the budget, because people wanted their paychecks. And I sat up here and I listed the 14 or 15 kids that had been shot or killed in like a 45-day period. And the people sitting in the audience, not all of them, but some of them was like, why is she talking about that when we're up here and we're supposed to be talking about the schools? I just was so, I know I haven't been smiling a whole bunch when people been, you know, walking through here. It's because it's a lot. You know, you look at the news, and the news literally said that, y'all saw the news, and the news literally said that everything bad that's happening in Wake County is because of what somebody in Durham did. And I don't believe that. I don't believe that about our people. I don't believe that about our brothers and sisters. I don't believe that about these children who are losing their lives way too early. I'm going to ask for a moment of silence if you all would indulge me, but I'm also going to ask in my absence to help the folks who will sit in these seats absent me, come up with some policies and plans to save our children. We have invested millions of dollars into Project Build for our 10 to 13-year-old boys. We're expanding that this year. We want to do it with our budget. We've invested millions of dollars into My Brother's Keeper and to our Black Women's Consortium. We cannot buy our way out of this, and we know that, and we need help with the Hager Reborn Justice Movement. We reallocated dollars because we wanted to put them in places that helped. So in my absence, I see that there are new individuals who will sit here, and I have been very critical of some of the individuals that will sit here next year. I'm asking you all to help them see what we have seen and help curb some of this violence. There's a lot more that I want to say, but I'm not going to belabor the point because I feel like in this room, unlike the night of the budget, I got people in the room tonight that care about dead black kids. I see some affirmative nods. So I'm hopeful and I'm prayerful that after this meeting, you all will continue to show up and look at those other investments that we are making and help us save some kids because it's too much. So if you all would not mind a moment of silence, and then we can proceed with the agenda. Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Chair Burns. That now brings us to our consent agenda. Are there any items that the commissioners would like to pull? I have one that I would be pulling. What if there are any others? Okay. The item that I'll be requesting to pull is 24-0645, the Capital Project Amendment number 25 CPA 022. Are there any other items that commissioners would like pulled? Okay, hearing none. Clerk Wallace, there are some items other items that have sign-ups. Do we do the public comments now or after? Okay, I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent.
Any items that people want to make comment on, we need to pull those, don't we? Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
Any items, yeah.
So then we'll pull 24-0637, 24-0649, 24-0655, and 24-0654, and 24-0656, 24-0710, 24-0682. So that leaves us with 0644, 0649, 052, or 0652, and 0657, 661, I think 668, and then 669, 683, let's see, 60687, 688, 73. Okay, I'll approve. These are the items that are remaining on the consent agenda. Okay, so I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda excluding the items that I stated.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Any opposed? Okay. The consent agenda as amended is approved. Now that brings us to the next portion of our agenda, which is the items pulled from consent agenda. And I'll begin with the item that I pulled, which is 26 sorry, I've been reading so many numbers. 24-0645, and this item I'll request Sheriff Burkhead and Attorney Lovelace if we can bring this back to a work session again for further discussion and an opportunity for more information sharing with the community and the board.
Good evening, Commissioners. Sheriff Clarence Burkhead. We certainly can do that. We're prepared to offer some additional information this evening if you so desire, but we certainly can do that.
I think we could, oh, Vice Chair Burns.
I can appreciate that, Sheriff. Thank you. I won't be here for that work session, so good luck to you on that one. But I did just want, since we can now comment on them, for this group of people in here, I just want to say publicly, we have had the opportunity to look at these items during work session. This item in particular, and I'm not on one side or the other. I just don't want nobody to lie to y'all, because I come from a family of protest, and where I come from, it's not just about posting on the internet, it's about doing your research. And I beg you and I implore you to do that. Some of you have, some of you have not, and I can appreciate that because you took the call. But I will say that a couple of months ago, when it was time to do a public hearing for the land for this property, everybody voted on that public hearing. I also want to state publicly that when it came time for body cams for the sheriff, we had to go over it 50 million times. When it came time for dash cams for the sheriff, we had to go over it 50 million times. I don't have a problem with dash cams and body cams because that makes people do their job and keeps them honest. When it came time for us to get Boozer the Loser or Clicker the Ticket stickers for this man, we had to pull it. When it came time to get a new metal detector, we had to pull it. When it came time for him to get a new medical director, we had to pull it. And so today, something that we've gone over 3 times, we're pulling it. Now, that ain't me pointing at you, but I want y'all to look at the hypocrisy that happens with one department and not another one. So y'all can come back to this at work session, but I'm going to implore you and beg you, no matter how this falls, do your research and look at how elected officials are treated in this county. And that's all I got to say about that.
Thank you, Vice Chair Burns. Is the board comfortable with moving this to a work session for? Okay. Now that, yes, Commissioner Jacobs?
Yeah, I would suggest, because we did get a lot of emails and questions in the emails specifically, that we should, if we can forward those specific questions to the sheriff so he understands exactly what the questions are that are being asked from the community, and that we also make sure that people know when that work session is going to take place. So that would be the whole purpose, is to make sure that people's questions people have the opportunity to have their questions answered.
And Clerk Wallace is compiling all of the emails that we've received into one singular document to provide to us as well as the sheriff. And our next work session where we will have discussion is in January. On what date is it again, Monica, in January?
That meeting is January the 6th. That's the first Monday of the month.
Okay, thank you. So now that brings us to, and since this item is not on the agenda for approval anymore, there isn't a period for public comment on the item since it's not being approved tonight. That brings us to the 0637. Item number 240637, which is the Board of County Commissioners review of the 2024 Edward Byrne Memorial Justice Assistance Grant, the JAG application. We have Miss Antoinette Hawk. Six 37. 37. The meeting is being, the item is being pulled onto the consent agenda, onto the work session for the opportunity for you guys to hear an additional presentation with the information that you're all requesting. We're moving it for an additional conversation, unless if it stays on the agenda tonight, it'll be voted on, and it will likely be approved if it votes on tonight. So if you either want it to be on a stay on the for approval or move it to a conversation. And now we're going to have, there's a public charge. I will now go to Ms. Antoinette. Ms. Antoinette, you have 3 minutes. Sorry?
My name is Antoinette Hawes, 5610 Catskill Court, Durham, North Carolina. All right, so we're talking about the vehicles. And all due respect to Burkhead, he worked hard and gets low consideration under the circumstances. I think we can agree to that. But if you've got vehicles with equipment on it that has been deemed hazardous by the manufacturer, can't you go back to the manufacturer and get that correction? That's what we have to do. And I feel like spending that money, we need this money for something else.
Don't let this discourage us, okay? We are going to get out there and we're going to fight.
Ma'am, we're going to ask that you please uphold the public charge. Ma'am, if you're not able to please exit. If you are not, ma'am, if you don't stop, we will recess the meeting.
So back to the equipment on the vehicles. My understanding is generally the manufacturer, if it's deemed hazardous equipment, that the manufacturer replace it. We need this $165,000 somewhere else. I'm all about safety, but I'm all about the manufacturer taking the tab when he is responsible for providing equipment that does not work on their product. And that's what I'm saying. I just really think that you need to seek other options because we need this $165,000 somewhere else. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Antoinette. Oh, see, Sheriff Burkhead or Attorney Lovelace, if you want to answer, but it's my understanding that since it's a grant, the grant has a specific purpose and use of the funding. This isn't county dollars.
Good evening, Commissioners. This is, we come each year with this grant. It is through the federal government. It's grant funded. This grant has been traditionally been used to fund our special teams in the Sheriff's Office. This particular grant this year is being used for our hazardous device unit, which we call our bomb squad. That's the nickname for it. It serves a 5-county area. This year, the grant funding will be used to purchase a bomb trailer that is used to carry the equipment to various sites when we have to detonate hazardous devices, whether it is a bomb, whether it's some type of munition, and that is what it's used for safe transport. This is something we came before the commissioners with in our budget request this past year. Funding is difficult, as you all know, and so this year we're using grant funding to take care of this need to maintain the special unit of the Sheriff's Office.
Thank you, Attorney Lovelace. And before we move on, I just want to acknowledge and recognize, I understand that individuals have come out tonight. We are trying to be accommodating by moving this to a work session and providing the opportunity. Because again, as Vice Chair Burns has mentioned, this is an item that has been discussed several times. This isn't an item that is being put on the agenda without discussion. Items that get put on the regular session for consent agenda have been discussed at work sessions, and they've been a part of our capital improvement plan. So I encourage you to all to show up and read and participate in our meetings during the work session process as well, and we're bringing it back to the work session for that opportunity that has already been provided already. If you have a question, I'll ask you to come to the clerk to ask it. While we move.
And as she's coming, I just want to thank you, Ms. Hall, for bringing that up. I did want to clarify with the attorney that a local match is not required for the 165, so it's 100%. Okay, that was all I just wanted to clarify. So yes, ma'am. Thank y'all.
Thank you. Now we have sign up for 24-0649, which is the budget ordinance amendment to recognize 125,000 in year 3 funding. And Miss Antoinette, you're signed up for the next four public comments, so if you want to just stay at the podium while we get through those. All of our agendas are publicly posted. All of our meetings are accessible via Zoom, via in person for public comment. Miss Antoinette? Miss Antoinette?
Okay. So this is my concern. We actually, a group of us, went to a hearing in Durham County Court, and there was a situation there. And I did send an email to Burkhead and his lieutenant about the incident where there was an overdose in the courthouse. And I want to let you know that that Durham County citizen suffered in an unconscious state for 15 minutes, and not one of those officers approached him. And when I talked to the sheriff's department, they said that the protocol was followed. I did send an email. But the point of the matter is I am all for whatever we can do to improve the quality of health and wellness for our citizens, and especially in the courthouse, because it seems to me, it appears to the citizens that were in court that particular day that the protocol was not followed, or there was no protocol, because not one person touched him until EMS arrived. So on top of that, we need to make sure that people got proper training and not just an SOP that says that, yes, we've seen this. We need to make sure they know how to do what needs to be done when a citizen is sitting in the courtroom unconscious for 15 minutes and the sheriffs will not touch him to confirm signs of life. So yes, I'm all for anything that's going to help the citizens. Let's put the money down for the health.
Thank you. Thank you, Miss Antoinette. Miss Antoinette, you have Ms. Hall.
Ms. Hall.
A couple other items. 0655.
All right. All right, so the Division of Child and Family Well-Being, Whole Child Health Section, School Adolescents Health Unit. Definitely am down for that. We definitely need, not only do we need the money to do it, but we need the people who are willing to do it. That's all I'm saying. We need the people who are willing to take the money and use it to benefit the citizens of Durham. And I don't mind. And I'm a stickler about my money because I've been paying taxes since 1997, property taxes since 1997. So I'm well vested in this community. But what I'm saying is I do more talking and I do more marching and do more active listening to the citizens. But when I'm looking at the county level and I'm looking at the implementation, what you say or what you write is what you say that you're going to do, but people are not doing it. You're not actively implementing these services to the community. You get the money, you have the paperwork to justify it, but nobody's really, the services are not trickling down to the people. And we're suffering tremendously. So let's make sure that when we get the money, we get the contract, we get the wording right, and we want to bring people in and say, yay, we're going to do this, that we actually get some people who are going to actually do what needs to be done for the citizens.
Thank you, Ms. Hall. One second. With
That was 655
Yeah,
and
but I have-
654. Oh, Ms.
one
Hall.
second.
Oh,
I was gonna.
I just want to make sure that that was the one she did because it's 3 of them in
Yeah.
656.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes, but I'm
Yeah.
gonna-
Okay, so for those, because we're just saying numbers, and I don't think that that's fair. It's no different if you
I'm
talk.
reading it.
No,
I'll read it.
I was gonna read it. I know you got it. I know you got it. But for folks who are sitting here, I want to be fair because we saying numbers, and if everybody doesn't have one, so the 654 for folks who don't have it, that was $230 for health and human services. $230,000 from North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services Division of Child and Human Beings for evidence-based behavioral health interventions. And I want to at least highlight 655 because even I had to pull Rod about this one during work session. It is $120,000 from the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services of Child and Family Wellbeing Whole Child Health Section School Adolescents and Child Health Unit to maintain a strong and inclusive school health team. I know y'all like, okay, so what does that have to do with anything? Because that's a long title. Even that's why we put the script. I just want to give one example. This is an individual that we're hiring to work at Dunn Public Schools because we still have kids that are pivoting out of the pandemic. So to her question, I think that's a fair one because I had it too. We have these long titles, we'll put the paragraphs here, but the devil's in the details. So if you look or if you have opportunity, so thank you for bringing that up, Ms. Hall, but that's what the $120,000 is for, is to help these kids that are still pivoting, and that's what that FTE is for. And I don't know what her next one is, and that was all.
And we have copies of the agenda, I believe, is in the hallway if you want to see a copy. Okay, and if you want more there, the clerk, if you raise your hand, the clerk will know how many more to print. And after consultation with our attorney, even though the item is being moved to the work session, I'll allow public comment on 24-0645, limiting it to 1 minute per speaker, since there are several speakers signed up for this item. Beginning with Carrie Medlin, and I do want to remind everyone, you know, we're trying to work with you. We're trying to provide opportunities for public comment and also an additional presentation that's already been provided. So I hope you'll reciprocate that with adhering to the public charge that was read at the beginning of the meeting. And a reminder that, you know, at any time, should any board member or resident fail to observe the public charge, I can call the meeting to a recess.
Chair Alam, if I can.
1 second.
Chair Alam, if I can just make one statement. We do have a person that has raised their hand online, but they did not sign up to speak. And I just want to make them aware that I do see their hand. If they could send me an email to clerk@dconc with your comment, it can be added to the comments that will be shared with the commissioners, senior leadership, as well as the sheriff's office. Thank you.
And I'm going to call up 5 people to line up at a time. So Carrie Medlin, Virginia Wertman, and I apologize if I can't read your handwriting properly, Jackson Balling, Farouk Ayala Saran, Elizabeth Johnson, Reina Rusenko, Brianna Owant, how many is that? 4, and Antoinette Hall. Those are the first 5. Okay, and you have 1 minute, Carrie.
My name's Carrie Medlin. Address is 1006 Virgie Street, Durham, North Carolina 27705. I'm here to speak against the proposed training facility and by extension the contract with Cisco. I know that's a separate agenda item. I love Durham. Since I moved to Durham, the following people have been killed by law enforcement officers: Jesus Huerta, Matthew McCain, Raphael Bennett, Terry Lee, Levante Trayvon Biggs, Dennis McMurray, Frank Clark, Eunice Glenay Nisi Fennell, Kenneth Bailey Jr., James Earl Stanton Jr., Jean Carolyn McGirt, Sean Jeffrey Christie, Deshaun Evans, Andre Lovato Hutchinson, Daryl Kersey, Brittany Kittrell, Charles Walker Pickett, Stephanie Wilson, Rayshawn Jones, Eric Cano Castellanos.
Thank you, Carrie.
Just go ahead. Okay. Hi, I'm Farouk. I'm a therapist at a clinic that actually partners with Durham Public Schools, and I mention that because I'm really happy that we're able to. It's kind of an intervention that isn't punitive, that isn't sending people to jail, to prison, and I think that's something that most of the people in this room would be interested in, but I mention that because all of this funding that we're sending to build bigger cop cities, more training for cops, it could be used to fund creating new healthcare workers, expanding our capacities to actually get to the root cause of the reasons why crime occurs. And I understand like a lot of people might feel unsafe, but if we're gonna invest so much money into like expanding our capacity for cops, like we're not allowing ourselves to imagine a future that, you know, doesn't need police, which is hard to imagine right now. I understand, but we have to try for our kids, for us, for our humanity. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Elizabeth Johnson, and I'm a PhD candidate at Duke University. This summer, I transcribed and analyzed over 50 in-depth interviews with law enforcement officers all across the United States. I was surprised by how many officers from all across the country told us about the same problem. Police are asked to do too much. They're expected to be mental health counselors, social workers, substance abuse experts, and more, in addition to their role of solving crime. What I didn't hear named as a challenge in these interviews was the lack of a multi-million-dollar training facility like the one we're discussing tonight. If we want to support police like the over 50 officers interviewed, we should instead invest in programs that take the pressure off of law enforcement by addressing problems like mental health, homelessness, and substance abuse. The HEART program piloted by Durham is a wonderful example. I'm also a native of Atlanta, and I have seen the extreme pain and division suffered over a cop city in Atlanta. People have died. A protester was shot 57 times. People have been charged with crimes as a suppression intimidation tactic, and I don't want to see Durham go through the same pain and division that my hometown has gone through.
Hi, my name is Raina Rusenko. I'm a Durham resident, and I've spent well over a decade researching homelessness and the impact of public policies on unhoused persons. I'm here because I was horrified to learn of this plan to invest $16 million in a Durham County Sheriff's training facility. Law and order approaches to social and economic problems, which this project represents, pose an outsized threat to our collective well-being. In Durham today, our neighbors face many threats to their well-being, such as profound food insecurity, low wages, poor work conditions, high rents, housing insecurity, and inadequate access to health care and transportation. Not only does policing fail to address any of these, but it has distinct and profound negative impacts on marginalized communities like unhoused LGBTQIA youth and racialized communities who are disproportionately targeted for surveillance and criminalization. Knowing what I know about the roots of homelessness and the impact of policies on the quality of life across urban communities, it is clear to me that investment in this training center would be both a tremendous mistake and an injustice.
Hello, my name is Brianna Avant. In 2014, I was assaulted by 5 men while walking to the train station. I was assaulted directly across the street from a police station. The police did not come to help me. 2 men driving home from their job came to help me, 2 regular citizens. As a result of this crime, I developed PTSD, and in 2018, I experienced suicidal ideation. I called the suicide helpline, and they dispatched the police, who pushed me against a cop car, handcuffed me, and treated me like a criminal when I was nonviolent, unarmed, and asking for help. As a law-abiding, cooperative citizen, the police have used their power in ways that have harmed me and made me feel completely unsafe, and I've seen how they have treated people who don't look like me even worse. I am sharing this story to show how police often abuse the power they have over ordinary citizens regardless of their backgrounds or situations. A massive police training center will not make this city safer. Investing these funds into community infrastructure will reduce crime and support struggling community members.
And Ms. Hall, before you go, I'm going to just call up the next 5 people. Elizabeth Henry, Maya Ganem, Tia Hunt, Parker Usuri, sorry, Samuel Scarborough, Amanda Wallace, Elizabeth Arant. Ms. Hall?
Yes, I want to say for the record, I am notorious for requesting a decrease in the requested funds that you typically put on your document. But at this point, I'm asking for an increase because the community is suffering from a number of issues. And then, of course, the most recent, the election has caused a huge emotional turmoil in the community, and people are suffering in silence. I think that the money needs to be there to provide services, and if you invest in your people, like you invest in your equipment, it would serve us better. And you're here to the pleasure of the public, and these services are paid for by the public, for the public. I just kind of feel like the money needs to be increased so that we can be able to provide a wraparound service and also request a coordination and collaboration with the community.
Hi, my name is Elizabeth Henry. I really strongly oppose the usage of this bond money to pay for just another city that sheriffs can just be trained for what, really, is what I'm asking. Because their training thus far shows, number one, that they don't care to do their jobs properly, if their training is at all adequate in the first place. But also, it's just shown that when we don't invest into our communities in ways that really matter, that show that we support them instead of show that we care about policing them, it just continually in so many different communities has shown time and time again that it does not benefit anyone but maybe the pockets of people who don't care about the community in the first place. But thank you.
Before you start, I just want everybody to know, I saw that you had to lean. I saw some people in the tube, but this moves. So I do want, there you go.
Hi, my name is Maya Ghanem. I'm asking that the board reject funding $16 million for the Sheriff's Training Facility Capital Project and that they reject $313,000 for the Cisco contract. $16 million is a lot of money, which should instead be used to better pay teachers or healthcare services. The funds requested in item 0645 should instead go toward an item like 0649, which funds an emergency services and mental health program. I also wanted to address item 0644. When it comes to Cisco, it is a company complicit in genocide and has been recently identified as a target for the boycott, divestment, and sanctions list. We must take a moral stance against genocide, which means finding an alternative to Cisco. Please vote no on Cisco.
Hi, I'm here to voice my absolute disappointment in the county's proposal to allocate over $16 million to build a police training facility. To propose something of this magnitude seemingly without community input is irresponsible at best. To me, it's also tone deaf. $16 million should be going towards affordable housing and supporting those who are houseless, paying our city workers, our healthcare infrastructure, and our schools. We don't need a police training facility, especially when we know it will be weaponized against Black and brown folks in every part of our lives. If crime is your concern, then you should be worried about the aforementioned facets that impact this community's safety and well-being. Crime will not and has not been deterred by the existence of police officers. I urge all of you to scrap this and reinvest in our community. This proposal is dangerous and would set a detrimental precedent for our communities in the Triangle. Additionally, I would like to add that the rejection of concerns over Durham CPS's treatment of Black families was ridiculous. We can recognize that more than one genocide is occurring at once, and that all struggles against the state are connected. I want no more cop cities, and I want no more family policing. Thank you.
So first, I will speak for another person. Oh, not yet?
She just needs to
I'm sorry. Okay.
My name's Tia
Okay.
Hunt.
All right. So I'm speaking for a Durham resident first because I'm not from the area, and then I'll speak for myself if I have time. As a Durham resident at 201 Bridgefield, PL, I don't know what that stands for, zip code 27705, I'm standing here. Right now, Durham stands at a pivotal moment, and I stand here along with other Durham residents in firmly opposing the construction of a sheriff's training facility in our city. Under the budget description, this project is described as in alignment with the sustainability goals of Durham. This building will repurpose a closed landfill and have a reduced carbon footprint, but for what purpose and for who? These green technologies aren't being used to create parks or housing projects or schools. A sheriff's training facility extends the power that the police have to disproportionately target black and brown residents. Instead of investing in our children's education, we are paying for them to be further surveilled and policed. This building represents the worst for Durham's future. This facility will fundamentally increase the militarization of our society. And now I speak for myself. I am from Charleston, South Carolina, but I am now 18 and going to school at UNC. And I'm a survivor of child abuse. And, okay, police never helped me with that.
Sorry, can you just state your name for the record? If you're able to state your name into the mic for the record.
My name's Parker.
Thank you.
And Parker, also please feel free to submit your comment for the record, your other one.
Thank you.
My name is Samuel Scarborough. I am a young black man rooted in Durham. I grew up here. My family was rooted in Black Wall Street, and today I want to voice my opposition to this project. And I think in terms of my opposition, it's important to recognize it's central on caring for young black boys. I'm thinking about how we are not only facing discrimination in terms of policing, but also thinking about the impending Trump administration that is going to cut social spending. So I think our priority should not be policing our communities, it should be supporting our communities in this moment. That is what our attention should be. And I also want to vocalize something that was a part of the Community Safety and Wellness Task Force. When we put together all these different proposals. We talked about significantly expanding harm reduction services to address issues like the one that happened in the courthouse. We talked about trying to promote ethno-drama films to educate and promote and empower black families in Durham. We were doing all these things about providing funding for consent education in our public schools. So it's important to recognize that we can fund alternatives and that policing is not the answer, especially in this moment. We need to support our community.
So my name is Amanda Wallace, and I'm the founder of Operation Stop CPS, and I'm here to talk about this cop city that you guys are trying to build here in Durham. I oppose the passing of this agenda item, and as a black woman, it terrifies me to think that you guys are investing in an opportunity to kill people. This is a shooting range that you guys are trying to, like, that is what you are trying to pass. There's so many other things that you could be doing with that money to keep families together, to provide housing, to provide food, but I'll keep that for the other agenda item that I'm gonna speak about. But I also want to take time to put this back onto to the commissioners, because you tried to put it on the community and say that the community is not engaged. Why aren't you out in the community asking the community about what they want in regards to this cop city and this $16 million? You create these meetings where it's not accessible for people, and then you already admitted that you've gotten emails. You know that the people don't want this, and you said, Nita, that you're gonna pass it anyway. So stop trying to put it on the people and understand your own power.
Ms. Wallace, if you can please complete the rest of your form, it's not fully filled out, and provide it to the clerk. Yeah. For our public records and our minutes, we need these forms filled out. I'm gonna wait for everyone to finish. It's not just you. Miss Elizabeth Arant, Rafiq Zaidi Muhammad. There's a name that starts with an M and the last name starts with an E. Okay. D. Hannicut. Sam Hoffler. Dorian Rodriguez. And Lily Roth. Thank you, Mr. Rafiq. You can start.
Good evening. My name is Rafiq Zaidi Muhammad. I'm a Muslim follower of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam. Some advocates and concerned residents sense a deep, sinister scheme at work. A pretext to reroute, once again, the exchange training with Israel Defense Forces, IDF, into this urban development city. We are against this. If you plan on having a training center here in Durham, and you go undercover invite the IDF into your training mode, we will stand against this, and we will fight you tooth and nail. If you want to bring this city down with a mass protest, you can try it on our turf. We will no longer stand for this in light of what's going on in the Gaza and Lebanon. We are tired of this and will not stand for it. So keep the IDF out of our city.
Good evening. My name is Maxine Elwa. It is a pleasure to speak with you today. I care deeply about the city of Durham and the people here, and believe that we all deserve to live a joyful, abundant, and free life. The idea of the police began as a force to capture enslaved people, and it has yet to cut this root out. That is the core of what the police stand for. In 1981, the case Warren versus District of Columbia stated that the police have no specific obligation to protect us. If they have no obligation to protect us, who or what are they protecting and why? The state? Well, if we're scared of our citizens, that does not seem like a problem that is solved by creating more fear and destruction. Investing $16 million in fear is a painful idea to face when there's so many people within the city and county that are struggling. Millions of dollars toward building a facility that is devoted to violence seems unethical and antithetical to the values that I've heard held by the people in this commission this evening. We could use this money to invest in supporting our citizens directly. Imagine a facility that was dedicated to nourishing the community rather than destroying it. We could invest in resources to help decrease violence within our communities that involves actually building connections and opportunities that end the cycle of violence that is deeply rooted in white supremacy. We have the opportunity right now to create a more loving and compassionate world. By investing in community building over community destruction, we can make a choice about the world we want to live in. I oppose this cop city, and I hope that you take into consideration the opportunity to build a more beautiful world together. Thank you.
Good evening, commissioners and everyone else. My name is D. Honeycutt. I'm a lifelong North Carolinian, and I'm one of Durham's many residents who are transgender. I'm here this evening to urge you to vote against spending $16 million on the construction of a new police training center here in Durham. Such a center would further the militarization of law enforcement agencies who police Durham's diverse population. This includes a number of communities who are already being targeted and will continue to be targeted by the incoming Trump administration. Please consider your constituents who are most impacted by policing, including Durham residents who are Black, Indigenous, Latinx, working class, formerly or currently incarcerated, young, queer, trans, and immigrant. Our local government is charged with fulfilling numerous commitments made to those of us who call Durham home. Please prioritize those before spending an additional $16 million on police. We rely on you to create systems of care and the conditions that generate safety for all members of the community. $16 million for militarized law enforcement will have the opposite effect and will make us less safe. We do not want and we do not need a cop city in Durham, North Carolina. Please vote against spending this $16 million tonight. Thank you.
Hello, I am Duncan Rodriguez, though Dorian Rodriguez is okay if you would like. I oppose this motion because $16 million is a lot of money, and it could go to, you could send $160 to 100,000 Durham residents, and that would be a better use of money. Because, like, if you want to never see this money have any benefits, give it to cops. Like, if you, yeah, that's pretty much it.
Lily, before you go, I'm going to just call up the next group of people. Melissa Luna, Annie Doran, Daniel Summerlin, Luna Hamsi, Quinny Sanchez Lopez, and Ann Elliott. Thank you, Lily.
Yeah, my name's Lily Roth, and I did write a 2-minute speech, but I'll take my now 1 minute to respond actually to something that you said when you really strangely called us out for the way in which we're showing up today. And if it's true that you're from a family of protest, then you know how difficult and important it is to organize a community. And it doesn't really matter to me the ways in which we have shown up in the past. We came here today to have a conversation with you, so all that matters to me is how we showed up today. And we did show up today to say that we don't want $16 million to go to Cop City. And the way, this is all a reflection to me of how inaccessible your jobs are to the community and not a reflection of how we show up together. And yeah, I agree with what everyone else has said today. I just wanted to respond to that because that really ticked me off. And we should not be sending money to Cisco. We should not be sending money to cops. And if there's one thing we know, it's that cops don't protect us. The HARP program does. Expanded public programs do. And that's where we want our money to go.
Hold one moment. Don't worry, I'm not going to respond to it. But Frank Burns named me Namashina Navisha Burns in 1983. He didn't name me you, but I heard you. Thank you. You're right, it's hard to come to these meetings. But if we're going to call these white women commissioner, we're not going to call me you. Thank you, though. Go ahead, sis.
Hello?
Melissa.
Hello, my name is Melissa Luna, and I am here today to voice my opposition against the allocation of $16 million for the construction of a police training facility. Echoing the thoughts that others have already shared, this is a disappointing proposal because time and time again, we've seen how the role of the police is too often not to protect, but to be used as a tool to brutalize, kill, control, and suppress. This amount of money should be used to uplift the Durham community, not contribute to this brutal and violent system. I hope that the people in this room will truly give this some thought, especially only a week out from the anniversary of Chuy Huerta's murder. Thank you. Que descansa en paz.
Hi, my name is Annie Doran. I'm a Durham resident. I'm speaking in opposition to this proposal today because I feel that it's a misallocation of resources. If you look into any widely researched papers, speak to any experts, you'll see that one of the best ways to prevent crime is not to provide more cops, it's to address poverty and lack of resources. I think there's a lot of things that could be done. I imagine that instead of this space that is proposed, what if there was, you know, more resources for programs like HEART, or programs for domestic violence survivors, programs for education resources. I know this is something that we are all interested in seeing. I don't believe this is the right choice for the community. I also do want to address, as someone who is trying to become more involved in the community and staying on top of topics, that it is difficult to find information on this topic. I know that it has been discussed before, but as in preparing myself for this meeting, it was very difficult for me to find information on it, and I think that's something that needs to be addressed. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Daniel Summerlin, here to speak in opposition to this facility. My fellow Durham residents have all spoken more eloquently than I can to this issue, but I'm just here to add my voice and my presence and speak against this facility. Thank you.
And then I'm just going to run through the names again. I know individuals have returned. If you've come back, you have a minute to speak. Virginia Wertman. Jackson Balling. Elizabeth Arant. Sam Hoffler. Luna Hamzi. Quinny Sanchez Lopez. And Ann Elliott. Yeah, 1 minute. Thank you.
Before I get to my comment on the training facility, I will include a request to not renew the county's contract with Cisco, as it is currently complicit in Israel's genocide of Palestinians. It was recently added to the boycott, divestment, and sanctions list, and Durham has long been a leader in divesting from global genocidal campaigns. I urge you to do the same here. Now back to the militarization in our own backyard. We do not need more money to militarize our sheriff's department. This will increase the risk of police violence. It will permanently pollute the land with toxic lead, the kind of lead that we are currently trying to get out of our parks, and deprive other much needed services of essential funding. With $16 million, we could further increase pay for teaching and support staff. We could expand mental health support for children and adults across the county, especially given the ongoing mental health crisis in our youth. Hurt people hurt other people, and we must disrupt these cycles of violence with something other than more violence. We could increase our library staffing and their wages so they are not overworked and stretched to their limits. Maybe we could even have libraries open later or on Sundays. We could start to build a county-wide HEART program, which offers the compassionate care that our people desperately need. We could expand our award-winning public health services, like our beautiful Narcan vending machines, our dental care.
Thank you.
We could use this for anything else.
If you want to share the rest of your comments, you can provide them to the clerk or email them to us at commissioners@dconc.gov.
Good evening, County Commissioners. My name is Jackson. I've lived in Durham County for nearly 7 years. I'm also an uncle to a young niece who calls Durham her hometown. I'm speaking to you all today to express my strong opposition to the proposed $16 million police training center. I firmly believe this substantial investment in taxpayer money demands scrutiny, especially when our community has so many pressing needs that remain underfunded as it is. To briefly summarize expert-led research, large-scale police training facilities that specialize in highly militarized scenarios often lead to increased use of force by the police officers who attend them. This higher likelihood is due to a training environment that emphasizes aggressive tactics and a warrior mentality, which in turn normalizes their use in real-world situations with our citizens. As someone helping to raise the next generation of Durham citizens, I'm deeply concerned about the message this sends to our children and to our neighbors about the community that we all want to live in and build for the future. I urge you to pause this project, engage in meaningful dialogue about how these funds could better serve our inhabitants, such as investing this into expanded educational resources for our public schools, creating more affordable housing for Durham residents, supporting struggling families who have food insecurity and are struggling to pay for their bills, and taking HEART success and repeating it countywide. Those are the investments that are going to make our community safer, and those are the ones that the citizens actually support. Thank you.
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Elizabeth Arant. I am a Durham resident.
I'm speaking out in opposition to the sheriff's proposed training facility as well. I believe it is absolutely vital to the safety, well-being, and basic human rights of Durham citizens to reject this proposal for a new cop city. This facility would serve to further militarize our police force and take essential funds away from meaningful public services and put it towards an institution that is already committing violence on a daily basis toward our most vulnerable communities. This is part of a national trend toward police militarization in response to, among many other things, the rise of pro-Palestinian activism on college campuses. Quite frankly, these facilities are laying the foundation for a fascist state, a possibility that should concern us now more than ever. I urge you to make the right decision for Durham's future and reject this proposal. And finally, in response to some things that came up earlier in this meeting, I would say that if we want to save our children, we need to start by taking the $16 million and putting it towards actual services that help families and parents provide for their children instead of taking those children away. Thank you.
That concludes the signed up speakers for that item. I just want to make one brief comment. We typically don't respond to public comments just as a practice of the board, but reminding everyone that, you know, there's a reason that I requested to pull this item was because I didn't want it to be voted on tonight. And that was the reason that I had pulled it from the agenda. And typically the procedures of the board are that if an item is pulled from the agenda, that it doesn't have public comment period, because public comments are provided to items that are voted on for approval or rejection that night. And so providing that, even though that's our procedure, still providing the time, an opportunity for individuals to come, because we hear you, we see that you wanted to speak, and being accommodating to that. But I just wanted to remind everyone that that was the reason to pull it, was to provide that further opportunity, and we hear you about the accessibility of the meetings. If there are community spaces, send them to us as commissioners. We as commissioners constantly attend community meetings and events. We're here to attend and be a part of community, and so let us know if you have an HOA meeting, a community, a potluck picnic, something in your front yard. We will show up and have conversations with you. And again, we'll have, I want to see if Attorney Lovelace, or if you had mentioned that you had information, did you want to respond to anything or save it for the work session? Sheriff Burkhead, Attorney Lovelace. Okay, thanks, Sheriff Burkhead. There's been no decision. So the Board of Commissioners actually has the opportunity to pull consent items. We pull consent items for further discussion. And so if if it wasn't pulled, then it would have been on the agenda for vote of approval, if that's what the public wanted. But I pulled it so that there would be an opportunity for it to be moved to the work session for further. Because it has been on the work session before. Okay, anyways, moving on to the remaining items that we have public comment on. 24-0649, which is, Ms. Antoinette, I believe you actually may have spoken on this one already. Yeah. Okay, so then Ms. Antoinette, you did 24-0655, so we'll have, and then you have 0654. You commented on 54, so we'll do 55. You have 55, and then 56, and then 82.
All right, so I want to briefly address 5-4. That $230,000, speaking of the CPS issue that we have, that number, CPS is doing a lot of covert antics. And I understand that they are now, because they can't find foster families to take in the children, they're putting the children in institutions. That looks to me like some supplement money for institution. And I just want to make sure that that's not the case for 0654, because we're not going to support that. If you can't find somebody to do foster care, to provide foster services, we know why. The North Carolina Department of Civil Rights is documenting that right now, because CPS is violating people's civil rights, and they're looking for money, and they're looking for people, and people are not trying to work for them because it's coming down. It's coming down to the ground. All right, so 6.5. 6.5, again, I'm all for anything that's going to help children.
Can I start your minute over since you went to another one? Let me just start your minute over.
Okay.
So she don't beep you. I don't want her to beep you while you're talking, Ms. Hall. I ain't gonna call you Ms. Antoinette.
Okay.
She's ready.
So,
Yeah.
so with regard to the children and adolescents in school, I'm all in support of that. But again, the services are not being trickled down to the students in the institution, in our schools. The services are not there, and the reason how I know that it's not working is because the children are dying in the streets. That's how we know it's not working. So we want something that's going to work. If we're going to be putting this kind of money into our children, we want to increase the money, and we want to make sure that it works. Again, we already have the documentation every week. You know, we got people dying, children dying, and they're just not getting what they need. So I'm all for increasing the money for mental health, but I am not for increasing money for a covert operation for CPS to put our children in mental health institutions. That budget's gonna get cut, and what you gonna do then? All right, so I mean, I hope you got a plan B, and that would be to keep them with their families. But that looks to me like some covert stuff. And we want to cut that out. And we're going to scratch the eye and find the thief and figure out who needs to go and who needs to stay. And it just amazes me that Wendy's still sitting there.
Okay. Ms. Antoinette, you also have item 682, which is the budget ordinance number 25BCC041 for the Department of Social Services to recognize emergency placement funding.
What number again?
0682.
It's at the end, I think.
Okay, emergency placement, and there we go again, emergency placement. So the point is that the investment is not in the families. The investment is not in the communities. And you keep bringing up these budgets, and we keep approving these monies, but the funds are not reaching the children. And I understand that you're working to get the foster care situation for these children, but if you work in the community and work on the family, you won't need this money for that. This is child policing, and they are cornering the market on destroying children, not just African American children and children of color, just children of, and let me encourage the manager, the new manager. I don't know you, ma'am, but I know some family members. I went to school with one of your family members. But the point of the matter is, we need to work together. We need to talk. Please pencil us in. Mothers of Durham and Operation Stop CPS, we would like to sit and talk, because we've been trying to talk to CPS, and they don't want to listen to us. They don't want to listen.
That's it for Ms. Antoinette. We have two more for this item, Amanda Wallace and Mr. Rafiq Zaidi.
Is this sign okay? Oh, okay. And so, yes, I would oppose the $75,000 to go to the Durham County Department of Social Services. One, they have a $60 million budget already, when 80% of that budget does not go to families. It goes to the salaries and operating costs of like their operation. And so if this $75,000, instead of trying, I mean, it says right here that they're trying to keep children from staying in the DSS office. And we've heard that there was carbon monoxide in that building when they had children sleeping in that building. And so how about just keep children with their families? That would solve that problem. And so yes, just please don't give them no more money. Like, how many times are we gonna do this? Like, it's the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. And so, like Ms. Antoinette said, we don't know you, right? I've heard great things about you today, but I don't know you. And so, but I don't want to hear anything. I want to see what you're going to do. And so if you don't solve this problem and keep black families and all families together, there's nothing else that I want to know about you.
Again, my name is Rafiq Zaidi Muhammad. I can't go behind that one. First, again, there has been no significant community discussion or engagement in this matter. I admit that there's an urgent need regarding the safety of our children, especially after the carbon monoxide discovery around November 2023, where some of our staff members at DSS were exposed to carbon monoxide. I had asked the former county manager for a letter that she read at a meeting regarding the analysis and the final conclusion of whether or not carbon monoxide still existed. I sent her an email. I haven't got that letter. Tomorrow, with the Freedom of Information, I will bring it to the county manager's office one more time, then I will go to the federal court. Thank you.
That concludes all the individuals who signed up for public comment. And it comes back to the board for reviewing the items that were pulled from consent agenda. So pull this stack back up. Attorney Williamson, do we need to vote on each of them individually, or? Yeah, I'll do individually. Okay, 0655, and I'll read them. The budget ordinance amendment number 25, BCC 039, public health to recognize $120,000 from the NC Department of Health and Human Services.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? 0655 is approved. 0654, which is the public health to recognize $230,000 from the state health department.
Move approval.
Second.
Okay. Moved by Commissioner Carter, second by Vice Chair Burns. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Passes unanimously. Now item 24-0656. This is the public health to recognize $8,000 from North Carolina Public Health Associations for the Dr. Ann Wolf Mini Grant Award.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Carter, seconded by Commissioner Jacobs. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. 0656 is approved unanimously. 24-0682, which is
the last.
Budget Ordinance Amendment Number 25 BCC 041 for the Department of Social Services for emergency placement funding.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Jacobs, seconded by Vice Chair Burns. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Passes unanimously. Then 0649, which is the recognition of $125,000 in year 3 funding to the Office of Emergency Services from the State Department of Health and Human Services.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Moved by Commissioner Jacobs, seconded by Vice Chair Burns. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That item is passed. And then there is 0637, the Board of County Commissioners review of the Edward Byron Memorial Justice Assistance Grant.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Jacobs, second by Commissioner Carter. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, passes unanimously. And then 24-0645 will be on our work session agenda for January 6th. Okay. With that, that concludes the agenda for our meeting. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Jacobs, seconded by Vice Chair Burns. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We are adjourned.
I almost forgot to give you my bread. I brought you and William another little loaf.